farther?
I can.
Yay! Oh, she sees the chickens.
You're off the brakes now?
Yeah. Whee! Whee! Say hi to the camera. Say hi!
That should be good.
Look at the camera.
Put her in park
Park.
and shut her off.
Shut her off. Wait, good job, Eve. Why does it still say the seatbelt?
Because it's not latch.
But it's off.
It takes a minute.
Alright, anything else for us?
No, that was it.
Alright, let's go grab our trash bags.
Greetings from Southern Yankee Homestead. This is your first time? Welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. As mentioned previously in a couple previous videos, things happen in threes. So we had the problem with the wood splitter, the Can-Am, and the Suzuki. Wood splitter was simple, the Suzuki was even simpler. This one has proven to be a little bit more challenging. Well, I sucked all the fuel out of it, topped it off with some fresh 92. She turns over, she won't start. That's all she does. She turns and turns and turns. Now I did a little basic troubleshoot. I checked my fuses and I also moved a couple of the relays around to see if maybe that would make a difference. It didn't. So we're going to dig into this a little bit further. Also, I believe it's a spark issue. I believe we're not getting spark, or we're not getting a good spark. I say that because when it's starting, I had Hun go ahead and push the button, and I was able to smell fuel coming out the exhaust. It's a weak fuel smell, but there's still a fuel smell. So that tells me that the injectors are firing. I don't know if I got enough fuel pressure, but if you could hear when I tried to start it, you can hear the fuel pump kick on. So I think we got something electrical that we got to troubleshoot. Now, if you're not familiar with Can-Ams, this is a 2012 Can-Am Commander. We've had it a couple years now, got rid of my Arctic Cat for this. If you notice, there's no engine visible. The reason behind that is the engine is down there. So we have to pull all this plastic off in order to get to it. We're actually going to start up here at the center console though, up in here. We're going to take a look and see if maybe by some happenstance a mouse got up into the back of that panel and chewed on some wiring they weren't supposed to. I've got no other electrical issues, but I want to see if maybe something on the back of that panel is popped off or chewed up. Well then, it might be a little hard to see, but unfortunately I don't have the right tripod or mount out here, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. So I had to use the big tripod, partially in the Can-Am. I think I need to loosen this up anyways. Yeah, I do. Okay. Now I have had this center console out before, but it's been a while. Before I started this project, I went ahead and got 100 of the little plastic clips that are probably going to break, and it came with the clip removal tool. So let's see how this works. Well, that worked out semi-good. There it is. Do we have another one over here? We do. We have a seat here. Nothing like some mud daubers. So here's my ignition switch. All the wires there look good. Everything going down the center looks good. And there's my ignition module right there. Everything looks good. I don't see any chew marks anywhere. I don't see any signs of mice, which actually surprises me quite a bit actually. But I'm going to pull this side panel off. Oh, no I don't. We're just trying to get to the top engine cover right now. because I'm trying to trace the ignition coil. There we go. Well, one thing's for sure, I'm seeing evidence of squirrels. So we got one screw down here we're going to take out. And I think the rest of it is plastic pull tabs. Well, that one's gone. Good thing we only got 100 more of these left. Alright, at this point, I've got the lower panels off, but I've stopped. The reason I've stopped is because I got ready access. Put that bung back in there. Okay, let me not put that bung back in there. I've got ready access to the coil. This is the coil pack that fires the spark. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get this off. Wow, that's really on there. There we go. And we've got 3 wires. One of these should be a ground. Hope you can see that. If you can't, I'm sorry. So we need to find a good ground. I think I saw a ground down here on the engine block right beside my leg. Let's try that. So we're going to turn this on. Nothing. Alright, I took a minute to make a attachment that fits in that connector. And I verified we're getting 0.000 ohms. I'm going to shove it back down in the engine block here tight. See if we get anything. That's not a good ground. Let me see if I can find a ground on here. Center pin is the ground. Alright, so let's see if we can get 12 volts. Nothing? Nothing. Alright, hold on. Key not recognized. Oh. Go to voltage. Performance key. Okay. Oops, come back here. Alright, no voltage. No voltage. Millivolts. Just out of curiosity. 12 volts. Or 11 volts. Yep. I'm getting 11 volts on the center pin. Alright. Well, that confirms one thing. We got voltage coming to this. There's no guarantee that we're getting the proper signals coming to it, but we're at least getting voltage. So we're going to plug that back in and go ahead and pull a plug. Actually, we're going to probably cheat this a little. Instead of pulling a plug, let's see if we can just, let's pull the easier of the 2 plugs to get to. What do you think? So instead of going all out, pulling the plugs and whatnot, this is not the right plug for this. But I gotta de-thread that. Okay, let's see if this will, let's see if I can even get that off there. This is most definitely not the right plug for this. But we're just checking for spark. We got spark. Yeah, we got spark. All right, not what I wanted to see. All right, this might be questionable, but we're going to go ahead and check our injector and find out if we got any fuel coming into it. This could be very bad very quickly, but let's see what happens. Oh, was I able to get that in? I can almost get that in a Gatorade bottle. Nope, our injectors we're getting fuel, and well, we're getting fuel. Doesn't look that bad. Well, what you're seeing in the bottom is what's left over the Gatorade. So at this point, we know we got spark, we know we got fuel. I've checked the air filter, and that is good. So I am at a loss for what this is wrong right now, why it won't run. So I'm going to go ahead and do some further research, because I'm not throwing a code either. This is fuel injection. There should be a code, should at least have a check engine light. I'm going to see, this is old enough, someone might have run across this problem before, so I'm going to see what I can dig up on the internet. We'll be back with whatever the next step is, even if it's taking it back to the dealership for troubleshooting. So I did a little bit of further troubleshooting last night, and I thought I might have come across something, but I didn't. I've got a P0116 code on the Can-Am, which is hard to tell. Could be an ECM or it could be a coolant temp sensor. Or I looked at the book, found that the coolant temp sensor is 2.5 to 3 ohms or K ohms of resistance. And I measured it last night and had 4.5 K ohms of resistance. The problem is, it's supposed to be at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, it was 50 degrees Fahrenheit in here last night. Thankfully today, it got warm. Just before the sunset, I checked it and I was under 3 K ohms, so I think the coolant temp sensor is okay. The reason I was checking that is because if the engine sees a condition that is out of parameters and it's got a code on there, I figured maybe that could affect it starting. It didn't. So under further research, apparently the Rotax engines have a problem with some of them and their timing chains. Given that this backfired before it stalled last time, that means there was fuel and spark when it shut off, at least one compression, that didn't necessarily get burned on time. Well, if something doesn't burn on time, I guess we got to go ahead and take a look at the timing. To do that, we got to pull the valve covers off, or the cam covers, or whatever you want to call them. I sprayed these down earlier. Hopefully I can keep it somewhat clean. We're going to go ahead and pull this one off depending on what we find. We're going to try to pull this one off, which is going to be more of a challenge. But we'll start with this one, see where we go. And I need to get some more extensions. Mine are getting long in the tooth. By long in the tooth, I mean they're missing most of the time. Alright, I haven't given up yet. Last night as I laid in bed contemplating how I'm going to rule the world, I had a thought. I checked for spark, but I didn't check the spark. So to explain, if you remember, I took just a random spark plug I had, stuffed it in there. So if you watch, I got spark. It's good, right? Well, I went ahead and pulled the spark plugs. Did you see that? When I turn it over, I'm sparking here, not here. So what that tells me is I've got 2 bad spark plugs. Who'd have thought? Well, I just ran out to the local parts store and guess what they had? 2 new spark plugs, same type. Now with this, let me get one of these here. I'm going to need that. So with that, these are the same type of plugs and they're pre-gapped. The problem is I don't know if they're pre-gapped for the Can-Am. So if I find the right drawer here, not that one, should be that one. Okay, my plug gap tool is missing. I probably took it on a trail ride with me. We're gonna have to do this the hard way. So let me grab, oh, we got a couple different gaps here. Let's see, what's this? Whoa, let's not drop that. That's 0.032. 30, too tight. That is 0.028 or 0.7 millimeter. Oh, sorry, you probably couldn't see that. So basically, old plug, got my feeler gauges, and I'm right at that. So this one is good. Let's go ahead and drop it in there. And this is a fun one. This is the fun side here. Oh, hold on. Forgot one thing. We don't need that. Alright, I'm going to grab my toolkit here. This side was all but impossible with the wrench, so we're going to go ahead and cheat it. This should fit. Let me make sure I got the right size here. Other end. Basically, my wrench won't fit. Alright, that's not going to work. Nice thought, though. Alright. So if you ever need to pull the spark plugs out of a Can-Am on the driver's side, good luck. All right, well, here goes nothing. She's running. Well, I guess there's nothing more to do but put all that back together. So I guess I'm going to go ahead, find a nice spot for y'all to sit and go ahead and start doing time lapse on this because she's running. More on that later.